Well, thank you very, very much. It was very amazing both presentations, and I'm so glad that very soon we will have in our foundation the exhibition of wonderful Barbara Bryant collection with Neil Bingham, and I think both explainings were, I'm amazed about quality of stuff and quality of explaining. Thank you very much. So what I wanted to speak about is why I like architectural drawings, why I decided one day to base the foundation, Museum of Architectural Drawing, why architectural drawing is something very special in the big world of art of paper. And we see now in this huge, let's say, huge fair, a lot of work of paper, a lot of statements, strong statements, but architectural drawings have to me still something very, very special. And this very special, I think, is the difference what architectural drawing has to any art of paper or any art today at all. So if every art speaks about something what happens around us in any language, in a very realistic or very abstract language, architectural drawing speaks about what we cannot imagine, so because it is burning first in the mind of architect, in the mind of draftsman. So nobody can imagine, if you would explain it, how I would, as an architect, explain to a client, look, I would do that and this, such a space, or such a space, he tells, I don't understand anything. But so far you begin to draw, digitalize, or with hand, you begin to create some world, some fantasy, what only you in this time imagine to make, and so for somebody it becomes to be reality, new reality. So far I imagine that architectural drawing has maybe the longest future of all work of paper, because every time it opens some very, very unusual, very new and very special world. What before the drawing nobody could explain, nobody could expect it's coming. And I show the line of some drawings from my collection, what was formed over tens of years. And every one is very significant for the way to create this future. So first of them you recognize at all immediately. That is Piranesi, and if it would be hanging on the other corner from very big distance, you recognize immediately this very special world of this, only this type of architectural ideas. And that's what is really amazing by this fantastic architect and draftsman, who never created real architecture only one time, but created all worlds as a drawn architecture. The next one, what I think is very specific for drawing at all, very specific for all world of film, cinema, anime, all parts of designing future is of course Hugh Ferris, and especially his line of Metropolises of Tomorrow of end of 20s, and especially this 1929 is very, very special abstract world of this vertical city, what made a big influence on all built environments all over the years after that. The next one is also recognizable absolutely in the moment. That is Yakov Chernyshov, one of pictures from 101 composition, his richest book about fantasies. Chernyshov created a lot of fantasies. He was passionate draftsman and had a lot of assistants, made also drawings parallel to him, but he has chosen the best of them for his books. But the top book of his fantasies was 101 compositions. And I think this one is more or less, from my taste, one of the best in this book for creating of two-dimensional world, but like a three-dimensional world. So you can imagine that in the digitalized future, or digitalized now, what we can create also with virtual reality. This work you can really move into, you can really swim in this air of industrial composition, what Chernikov created in 1932. Another huge fantasy draftsman and creator is Ivan Leonidov, also on the side of constructivists, but also never built anything, maybe one staircase in south of our country, south of Russia. And his two compositions I show now are late, not from the constructivist time, but very recognizable for his late work. They created real fantasy worlds, like towns of sun, towns of future. And if you see, for example, the second one, you see the forms what was created after by Sharon. And if we speak in Elbphilharmonie by Herzog Demeron, we see immediately the silhouette was what very big influence on all architecture, like this, in good sense, manierist architecture of postmodernismus, ideas of post-strong modernismus, let's say, where you have a strong basement and then very silhouette as a game with the forms. And of course, Lebus Woods, we dedicated personal show to Lebus Woods, unfortunately passed away 2012, but an enormous draftsman. I have many works of Woods, have a big luck to have it. And we made 2014, I think, an exhibition of Lebus Woods. Different things. Lebus explains that he created the worlds to be built. Unfortunately, also never built something big. Only one by Stephen Hall building in China, but that is the drawings have enormous power from long distance, from short distance. Amazing drawn through and from poster distance to the distances, like small detail and amazing work. And I think that is this part, fantasy drawings, I think is the most important part, conceptual drawings. The most important part, what I would say is interesting in architectural drawing, because it creates new worlds what maybe never will built, but are very big influence for many built worlds in the future. But there is another part, it's unbuilt projects, what I'm also very interested about. Because if you speak about drawing to the project what was built, so somehow you every time compare what was drawn, what was built, and you are going from the fantasy in the direction of reality. But unbuilt projects, they stay like a symbol of something what is still a dream. It could be the reality, but it wasn't. Like this Marseille Theater by Ledoux. And then I took 3 drawings like a line, how the idea from period to period going over different works of different architects or artists to be created on some other way by the next one. Like, for example, this diploma work by Dupré, what got him Prix de Rome in the 18th century, 1772. Going in the next idea by Petitot, a Paris architect who was active in Parma. And then to the third drawing, what is Palace of Soviets in 30s of 20th century. So the same idea became to be from very humanistic way, I would say, to very over-humanistic way, unscalable monument in the works of Stalin time of the 30s of 20th century. And the next line is early constructivism won a competition by the market in Moscow, what was never built, like a competition entry only, going over this very rationalistic container buildings by Afanasyev, who was in the group of Moisey Ginsburg, one of biggest functionalists, constructivists of 20s, and then going nearly in the same art of drawing by Zaha Hadid, by residence of Irish Prime Minister, the first work by Zaha Hadid, as she was going from the office of Rem Koolhaas and established her own office. So you see in these unbuilt projects amazing relationships between different times and different artists. What I think makes architectural drawing as something very special in the old world of work of art on paper. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sergei.